The Type 56 or Type 56R is a 3-star RF that's only available as a drop through the Arctic Warfare event, specifically stages 1-2, 1-3, and 3-3, and was previously available as a login reward in November 2019 for the global server. If you are looking for the Arctic Warfare event, it is under the Combat Then Campaign tab, as Arctic Warfare Episode 7.5. The Type 56 is essentially the Communist Chinese equivalent of the USSR's SKS rifle system. Minor tweaks and modifications were made by the Communist Chinese, including the lack of milling on the bolt carrier, partial or fully stamped receivers, and differing types of thumb rests. Outside of ceremonial purposes and their use by Chinese militias, the Type 56R has been removed from active military duty. Type 56Rs, with serial numbers below 9 million, use a Russian-style blade folding bayonet, while those 9 million and above have a spike folding bayonet. The Honor Guard 56Rs have chrome metal parts and generally don't have a lighter colored stock like the Soviet Honor Guard variant. The 56R eventually evolved into the Type 63, which had larger magazines as well as some design changes. And then the Type 81, which is just a Type 63 with a 3-round burst. Eventually, Norinco made civilian model variants for hunters and sharpshooters, as well as having them accept AK-47 magazines. In her base character art drawn by Khan, Type 56R wears a uniform that resembles the Communist Chinese parade uniforms, specifically the women's variant of the Type 65 uniforms. She wears an olive drab skirt, olive drab military coat on top of a collared white shirt that has a red ribbon around the neck and 2 gold stars on the collar, a red and gold armband with a gold star on her upper right arm, an olive drab beret with a gold star, 2 leather straps on her lower left thigh, one having a gold star, a belt with different pouches, bandages that go up to her knees, and black heeled boots with cuffs and 3 gold stars on each. Her rifle is dangling around her neck by her sling, which, guess what, has a gold star on it, with the rifle itself having another damn gold star on the stock, and a spike foldable bayonet, meaning that it is a 56R that came at 9 million or later. In her voice lines, voiced by Karia Rui, 56R acts like she's in the PLA.
56式半自動舗装正式に入隊します。指揮官、そして皆さん、よろしくお願いします。56班、待機します。指揮官、ご指示を。56班、準備完了。どうぞご検閲を。56班、了解です。向かいます。56班、期待しました。成果をチェックしてください。56班、任務を達成しました。早く成果をチェックしてくださいね、指揮官。
Like some RFs, 56R's main role is dealing large amounts of damage over a short period of time. Her tiles only affect HGs, reducing their skill cooldown by 12%. She's best positioned on tile 4 or tiles 1 and 7 if you don't mind losing a tile. At level 10, her first skill, Damage Focus, gives 56R plus 60% damage for 5 seconds. This has a 5-second ICD and 8-second NCD. Without crits or equips, she does 164 damage when the skill is active. With crits but without equips, she does 247 damage. When fully linked, enhanced, and at level 100, base 56R has 93 HP per link for a total of 465, consumes 55 ammo and 90 rations, deals 103 damage, has 36 evasion, 65 accuracy, 36 rate of fire, 7 move speed, and a 40% crit rate, and deals 150% damage on a crit. Base 56R is able to equip telescopic sights, hollow sights, red dot sights, suppressors, APMO microchips, and capes. The recommended equipment for base 56R is a 5-star scope, 5-star special sniper ammo, and 5-star cape. This gives her plus 10 damage, minus 3 move speed, plus 48% crit rate, and plus 25% crit damage. This brings her stats to 113 damage, 88% crit rate, 175% crit damage, and 135 armor pen. Her skill now does 180 damage without crits, and 316 with crits. To fully mod Type 56R, she will need 2,600 mem frags and 90 cores. This takes roughly 14.5 days of grinding the Neural Cloud Corridor combat sim to get the required mem frags. Her rarity goes to 4 stars when modded. In her mod art, drawn by the same artist, 56R's outfit has even more goddamn gold stars everywhere. Her skirt now has 2 layers and a golden trim. Her boots are now knee-high, have gold tips, and gold rope at the top. She still has the 2 thigh straps, but now they're higher up. Her olive drab jacket is much baggier, has many more gold stars and ropes, along with magenta ribbons and tassels. Her white shirt has been replaced by a black higher collar Eastern shirt. Her beret has been replaced by a military cap with gold stars, rope, and magenta bow, and she has a long flowing olive drab and magenta cape. Her braided twin tails are now super long, and her 56R seems to have doubled in size compared to her base art. It also has a black decal on the back of the rifle. When fully modded, 56R's tiles now reduce the skill cooldown of HGs by 15%, as well as having an additional tile in front of her. She now has 95 HP per link for a total of 475, deals 111 damage, has 37 evasion and rate of fire, and 70 accuracy. Her first skill now increases damage by 65% and movement speed by plus 5 points for 5 seconds. Without equips or crits, it now does 183 damage. Without equips but with crits, it does 274 damage. Her move speed is raised to 12, which is on par with SMGs. At level 10, 56R's second skill, Glorious Release, passively prioritizes attacking enemies with lower dummy links. For every missing dummy link below 5 links that the target has, it increases her crit damage by 10%. Additionally, the first attack after moving will have double damage. This additional effect can be activated once every 3 seconds. At max stack, which I assume to be 4, no skill 1 and no equipment, Glorious Release would do 211 damage. At max stack with skill 1 and no equipment, it would do 348. At max stack skill 1, 56R having recently moved and no equipment, it would do 696 damage. Please keep in mind my math isn't always accurate. The spec that 56R gains from Mod 3, the Custom Tracer rounds, gives 56R, at max enhancement and calibration, plus 10 damage and plus 180 armor pen. The recommended equipment for modded 56R is a 5-star scope, Custom Tracer rounds, and a 5-star camo cape. This gives her plus 10 damage, minus 3 move speed, plus 48% crit rate, plus 25% crit damage, and plus 180 armor pen. This brings her stats to 121 damage, 4 move speed, 88% crit rate, 175% crit damage, and 195 armor pen. She now does, with her skill 1, the max stack of skill 2, and having recently moved, 858 damage. This is the best glow up you will probably ever see in Girls Frontline. Honestly, base type 56R is an overall uninteresting, barely passable 3-star RF. Mess stats, a skill that's okay I guess, and just a bland character overall. But after her mod, good god she's amazing. Her damage gets a big jump, her spec gives her a massive amount of AP and damage, and her skill gets buffed, giving her 65% more damage when procced, as well as negating her movement speed penalty for when she has a camo cape equipped. Her crowning jewel, however, is her second skill. It passively, without the first skill needing to be active, does 10% more crit damage against lower dummy linked enemies. This means, at max, she gets plus 40% crit damage against enemies with only 1 dummy link left. It also doubles her damage after she moves, which pairs very well with the movement speed buff from her S1. If the stars, like the many on her dress, align, you can do upwards of 800 damage just by moving her around every 3 seconds and having your damage skill active while targeting a single dummy link. Now, not only is she good in the data simulation since the target is single, but she's also an amazing killer against units like Doppels and, correct me if I'm wrong, a fair few bosses. Her crit rate and damage can probably go even higher with other T-Dolls buffing her with their tiles and skills. For cons, her base, as previously mentioned, is just another 3-star RF that takes up space in your armory, and makes for a good free core. Outside that, she's currently only available from grinding some Arctic Warfare stages, which are annoying to grind, and you also have to consciously keep moving her back and forth to get that sweet double damage. Regardless, I'd highly recommend getting her to Mod 2, maybe Mod 3 if you want her spec. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter for updates. I also stream and are currently streaming Arknights IS3, and please check out my other Arknights and Azure Lane videos as well.